Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Jeff Releford, and I thank you for joining me on the Jeff Releford Show. Because listen, you could have been doing anything else today, right? But you chose on your way home from work, or if you just at home chilling, to tune in to the Jeff Releford Show. Now, real quick, I want to say this to you. Go ahead, tell your friends and family to download the online radio box app to your Android or your Apple device. So that way you can go ahead and listen to us on the go. And what you do is from there, you type in Biggs Radio Chicago. Okay? Biggs Radio Chicago. And also listen to our sister stations in Indianapolis, Indiana, Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia. And once again, you are kicking it with Jeff Releford on the Jeff Releford Show on Biggs Radio Chicago, the voice of a new generation. Let's go. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, aka Jeff Releford. Coming to you, doing the radio today. Oh gosh, we got some technical difficulties, y'all. We're still gonna go ahead and we're gonna continue to go live because we are having some technical difficulties. So please forgive me if y'all are gonna go ahead and listen to me on Biggs Radio for the day. For some reason, the audio isn't coming through. I'm trying to do what I can to go ahead and get it fixed, y'all, but that's not going to stop us from having a show today. So just to let y'all know, it's the Jeff Releford Show, y'all, here on Biggs Radio Chicago, voice of a new generation. We are not going to go ahead and stop the flow. We are going to keep going because what do? We work through this stuff, people. So let's go ahead. We're going to start it off. I want to start off by asking, how was everybody's Monday? Come on, let me know how your Monday was today, baby, because mine was exceptionally great. And I really want to explain why mine was exceptionally great for the day. I really want to say it was great because it wasn't just because of the eclipse, because people, that eclipse was something. I ain't even going to hold you. Now, that was the first time that I got a chance to witness the eclipse. That was the very first time I got a chance to witness something like that. So, yeah, it was dope. I thought it was extremely dope. Just how it all went down, everything of that nature. I thought it was awesome, y'all. So if y'all had a chance to witness the eclipse, shout out to the eclipse today, honestly, because the eclipse was something dope, man. So if y'all got a chance to go ahead and witness that, oh, yeah, we are still having some technical difficulties going on the air, y'all. I'm still trying to figure that out. So if what y'all could do is y'all could go ahead and like, share all these streams that are going through. And if y'all know somebody who wants to enjoy this show today, y'all go ahead and let them know that we are here for them. So, yeah, we're getting it kinked out and worked out and everything. We're going to see what we could do. But, yeah, it's really distorted. It's kind of kick back, so we're gonna see it. We got it to work yesterday, but I don't know, y'all, but it's all right. What we'll do is we'll send this show, we'll get it recorded out, and we'll make sure y'all can go ahead and listen to this bad boy. But for the day, okay, if y'all got a chance to go ahead and catch the eclipse, okay, if y'all got a chance to go ahead and catch the eclipse, we want to do something else for y'all. I want to put some perspective on y'all today because this is what I do, right? So since I'm gonna put some perspective on you all today, y'all need to sit down, relax, lay back a bit, and let's get ready so y'all can go ahead and hear this wonderful perspective on what we have on the day, okay? So listen, so today for the Jeff Releford Show, I want to get there. First of all, man, I'm just so eager and anxious to really get this out to y'all because this is actually going to mean something. But real quick, let's go ahead and start it off. We got Monday nights, people. We got Biggs Radio Monday Night Motivation, y'all. It's myself on the Jeff Releford Show from 5 to 6 p.m. And we have Mixtape Monday with Julian St. Chris from 6 to 8 p.m. And then we have none other than Miss Dinah Lynn Biggs on the Dinah Lynn Biggs Show from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So, yes, y'all tune in to that lineup. We're doing real good. And if you have any questions, please, if you want to get any music out, they are the hit makers. I'm not really the hit makers. You know, I do talk radio. So y'all can go ahead and send your music to biggsradio@gmail.com. And also, before you do that, don't jump the gun, people. Go ahead and give us a call at 773-462-4447. Once again, 773-462-4447. what we'll end up doing is, everybody, is you can go ahead, give them a call, let them know that you're inquiring about ad space and music. And guess what? We will air your ad and we will air your music on our lineup of shows that we have. And to give you some more background, people, go ahead on Biggs Radio Chicago. Once again, voice of a new generation. You can find us on biggsradio.com. That's where you can also check out our sister stations in Indianapolis, Indiana, Pasadena, California, and also Atlanta, baby. And then what we do is we go ahead and we round it off and up to us back here in Chicago. So once again, man, we appreciate all the love. We appreciate all of the love that's given and all the love that's shared. So, yeah, without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to get right into the conversation for today. Okay, got all that out the way, people. So let's get it. We have a real good question for today. Common sense. Is it so common? And what are your true common senses? Ooh, everybody. Now, the reason why I want to particularly touch on this topic for today is because a lot of times what we don't do is we love to throw out words, right? We love to throw out words like, oh, they don't have any common sense or they don't know what they're talking about. But we really only have 5 common senses. And these are the senses that you were actually taught, right? These are the senses that you were actually taught when you were younger, that you did have. And you have to recognize that you had these. They're sight, touch, smell, taste. Hold on. Sight, touch, smell, taste, and hearing. Sight, touch, smell, taste, and your hearing. Those are our 5 basic senses. So this is what I like to say, people. If anybody asks if you have common sense, yes, you do have common sense. You have common sense greatly. You do. So, yes, you do have common sense because we all share those 5 common senses within us. We are born with them and we die with them. And even if somebody can't see, you can still see to an extent. My wife is blind, visually impaired. She's taught me some things, along with my cousin as well, who has taught me some things. And, that was a great notion when I actually found that out. So big ups to everybody that's listening right now. We thank you, Nicole Bernardo, Javon Jacobs, and others. We thank you all for tuning in to the Jeff Releford Show on Biggs Radio Network and Biggs Radio Chicago, voice of a new generation, y'all. So once again, we have 5 common senses. That's what we have. So, okay, Jeff, if you're saying that we have 5 common senses, then what are we really missing? Okay, I'll tell you what we're missing, people. What we're really missing here, Coach B, what it do? What we're really missing here is knowledge. All right. What we're really missing here, people, is knowledge. Okay. What I want to do is I want to break this down to you real good. Okay. So when you're missing knowledge, that means you're capable of using all your senses, right? But you just don't know. You just don't know. All knowledge is the things that we do when we don't know. It's all knowledge is, people. So we all have 5 common senses, but we just lack knowledge of different things. That's all it is. I wanted to really touch on this particular subject today because we have to pay attention to how we use words and how we say them. If we don't pay attention to how we use words and how we say certain things, a lot of times we're not willing to look a little bit deeper. Now, I'm not saying this because you have to be quote unquote woke or you need to know how A, B, C, X, Y, and Z is. No, take your time with it. Go ahead and try to figure out what that perception is to you and for you. Once again, I'm just trying to get you to think about something a little different here. So think about today. When you say that someone doesn't have common sense, what do you truly mean by that? I get it. All senses ain't common, people. All knowledge is not common. We can't walk this earth thinking that everybody needs to know everything that we know. Because the fact of the matter is that nobody has all the answers here. Correct? You don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. Nobody has all the answers. So what do we do with that then? Jeff, what do we do with that? How do we navigate these particular situations and aspects of life? I'll tell you how we do it. We go ahead and we seek that knowledge. That's what we do. We go ahead and we seek that particular knowledge. People, I'm telling you, we here in 2024, okay? The time of not willing to learn is over with, honestly. If you don't want to try to learn, or if you don't want to try to figure out some things on your own, those days, come on now. Those days are over with. I feel that we are now in an age where accountability is truly reigning. Accountability is truly reigning. And if we don't start actually taking those steps for accountability, that's not a good move for us, people. That's not a good move at all. So that's what we need. So, hey, that's what we got to do, people. We have to take our time with this, and we really have to see where these different aspects are coming from and why we lack this knowledge. Like I already said, my thing about it is why we lack this knowledge is I think people just aren't willing to learn. Or are you just content with what you have? Because honestly, it is okay for you to be content with what you have. It is okay for you to be content with where you are in life. There's nothing wrong with it. But what needs to be done is you have to take everything that you learn with a grain of salt, because you always have to remember that there's more that you can have and add to everything. So that's the thing, people. Always add on to the knowledge that you already have. And once again, that common sense ain't so common. We have 5 senses, people. Sight, taste, touch. We have the ability to smell. And, oh, Jesus, I always mess this up. Sight, touch, taste, smell. Y'all know what the other one is. And hearing. Sight, taste, touch, smell, and hearing. Those are our 5 basic senses. And we got to stop throwing around words like nobody has common sense, because we all have it. But we have to get to a point to where not only where we're willing to learn, but what we have to do is we have to be able to teach as well. Big ups to you, Nicole. She said, that's correct. That's a part of my program, accountability. Come on, people. You already know. Big ups to you, Nicole V. Coach V out here listening and watching with us. Hey, I appreciate the love, sis. I appreciate the love. Thank you for that. And I want to tell y'all this. Listen, man, we have to not just be able to learn, but we have to be able to teach as well. And I'm going to tell you why we have to always be geared up and ready to teach. It's because if you're going around thinking that everybody should know the same information that you know, you're gravely mistaken. That's not how life works, people. That's not how life works. That's not how certain things add up. What we have to do is we have to make sure that we're equipped. We have to make sure that we're prepared. And the way that we make sure that we're equipped and we're prepared is by making sure that we go ahead, we gear ourselves up to seek knowledge. And then we have to go ahead and help those that also lack the knowledge. Hey, that might be a tough pill to swallow for some people, honestly. But yeah, hey, that could be a little different. So y'all give me a quick second. I have to test something out here. Hold on. Okay. Nope, that wasn't what I wanted to hear. But yes, once again, people, we have to be equipped. We have to make sure that we are ready to teach. Because I'm telling you, if you don't have the ability to teach, now I'm not saying that everybody can teach, but I strongly feel that if you don't have the ability to teach, how are you able to learn? I want y'all to think about that. If you don't have the ability to teach, how are you able to learn? Come on. And I do feel that we all have the ability to teach, and we can all learn from each other. And we get to that place by understanding that we have to change our notion and way we think. Once again, remember, the 5 senses that we have are sight, touch, hearing, smelling, and taste. Those are our five senses, people. Those are our five senses. So we have to stop saying things like people lack common sense, because people do have common sense. They do. Sometimes we just have to aid people on the road to getting to where they need to go. And maybe that might not be your ministry. Maybe that might not be your journey. That's not for me to judge or to look at or to say, okay, maybe it could work for you. But what we should do is we should actually want to strive to help somebody. We should want to strive to be our brother's keeper to some degree and extent. It's like, for instance, if I go ahead and I see somebody jumping off the cliff, I'm going to tell them, hey, big dog, why are you jumping off the cliff? I don't want to aid and abet you to jump off the cliff. I don't want to do that, because if I aid and abet you to jump off the cliff, what is that doing? What is that doing? All I'm doing is the blind leading the blind, baby. All right, what are we talking about? Here we go, Nicole. Thank you for chiming in, girl. Absolutely. We must make impartations into others and always be a reservoir of knowledge. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And Marcella DeLavalette Amos, what's going on? Marcy, big sis. That's like, in order to lead, you must also need to know how to follow. Oh, big facts, people. Big facts. Come on. And I really do love what Marcella said. Let me throw that back up there. That's like, in order to lead, you must also need to know how to follow. We do have, I believe we're really living in a generation now, people, where people really want to lack following. Everybody wants to be so independent. And there are times, I'm not even gonna lie to you, there are times when I have to watch myself of this. You always have to be willing to become the student first. Always. You always have to become the student first. You're not willing to become the student first, go ahead, lead yourself. Now, I ain't gonna lie. There are a lot of people that are willing to do that, and they have no problem at all leading themselves. Go ahead. That might be your purpose. You know, maybe somebody has to learn from watching you. Maybe somebody has to learn what not to do or what to do just because of you. And there's no problem with that. Oh, let's go ahead and remain coachable at all times. Yes, Coach B. Yes, ma'am. We got to remain coachable at all times. If we're not willing to remain coachable at all times, what are we doing? What are we doing? And Coach and Nicole Venardo, she is a life coach as well as I am. So when we throw out those terms and we say remain coachable, that just means remain adaptable, people. Come on. Sometimes, listen, we all live life where we have to do things that we don't want to do. We all have to make certain decisions and life choices that are hard for us at times. But when things are hard for us at these times, you know, we have to persevere and we have to get through it. Oh, man, if I was to tell y'all the whirlwind that I've been going through since the beginning of March, shoot, my birthday was on the 12th. I just turned 34, and it was an okay thing. But, you know, we had a great day, but then we had to go back to reality, baby. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, we have to take the time to really look at these things, and we have to accept life for what it is also. You know, there are a lot of things that we can change. There are a lot of things that we would wish to want to go ahead and fix, right? But what do we do for the things that we can't fix, right? What do we do for the things that are truly unfixable in our lives? Because let's be real, people, there are things that are unfixable in our lives. And you have to be okay with things being unfixable in your life. You have to be okay with that. Because if you're not willing to accept, what is it going to be? Ask yourself that question. If you are not willing to accept the things that occur in your life, what are you really looking at? Do you want to be the person that just complains? Excuse me. Do you want to be the person that just complains, that just kind of takes a look at stuff and doesn't want to keep an open mind because you feel that your way is right? Or are you going to feel that since your way is right all the time, that you just want to cut everybody off? Do you want to cut everybody off? Some of y'all might want to cut everybody off. I'm not going to say that every one of y'all do, but let's just be real. There are some people here that do. And I don't know if you're listening, but there might be some people that do want to cut people off and might just want to follow their own thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But also remember this, in order for you to go down the path that you're going down, you also had to learn something from someone who had to get information from somebody else, who got information from somebody else, who got information from somebody else. Do y'all see the pattern that I'm talking about here? This is why I say we only have 5 common senses. The only thing that we lack in this life is knowledge. We are all born with sight, touch, taste, hearing, and smelling. We are born with those 5 senses, people. Come on, man. So it's just something we have to learn and we have to grow to accept. If we are not willing to grow and accept those things, how can we grow? How can we really grow as people? Come on, I'm trying to drop something on your spirit today. I'm trying to drop something on you because, when I got this subject because my cousin, he was recording a podcast here in our studio. Oh, and shout out to the Vibe too, man. Shout out to the Vibe Studios. We are here right at, 4075 Rush Place? But we are here at the Word Church in Lake Station, Indiana. The Word Church here in Lake Station, Indiana. Y'all go ahead and look that up. That is the home of the Vibe Studios. And we appreciate you all for just listening to us. We've had many people come through. We have a board in the back. If you get featured on any of our podcasts or our radio shows, what we end up doing is we make sure you go ahead and you sign the board. So one day I'm gonna have to point the camera back there so y'all can actually see it. I'll show it to you one day. Maybe I'll just go ahead and live. Y'all watch my live on Facebook, Redirect Regroup Refocus page. We also go live we stream through YouTube and the LinkedIn and a number of plethora of pages also. So y'all go ahead and y'all check that out. We'll make sure we have some content so y'all can actually see the board that everybody signs when they come through. But it's an awesome thing, yo. We couldn't get to this point to where I'm even able to talk to you about a board, a show, or anything if I didn't learn from anybody about anything. Come on now. If I didn't learn about anything, anybody, I would not be at the place that I am today. Oh, and another reason why this day has been a very great day because I had an interview today. So see, we're going through transition as well, people. Oh my gosh, I had an interview today. So with me being a life coach, what happens is since I am the life coach, I'm going to be walking into a new era where I'm actually able to be effective with more people. And I'm grateful to God about that because, I get a chance to go ahead and effectively follow the gift that God has called me to do. And I'm able to touch even more lives. So I just want to share that little tidbit of information. So for the people that are out there listening and you really think that you have reached your end, you think that you can't go higher, always strive to go higher. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, what's in between. Yo, you can always go higher. So I'm grateful to that. Shout out to Mary Selena K for that. And Jay of Just Do It Counseling, because that's where we're going, baby. I'm going to help that place grow. I really want to help y'all do some things as well. And y'all are going to help me grow also. All right. Francis Resto says, common sense has nothing to do with our 5 senses, son. Oh, man. Francis Resto, I love you to death, but you be coming at your boy hard a lot of times. You come at your boy hard. Let's see what you're saying. No, common sense is what God has given us to make sound decisions, sound judgment, and practical everyday living. And hey, I can agree with that. And I only got one mama, Francis Resto. I got one mama, and that's Angela Yvonne Releford. So, I understand you saying it with love, man, but man, I feel like I can't get a notion out to help somebody, man. And I love the pushback. I do. I love it. I'm not saying that to get on you. I'm just saying that because, we can't go ahead and have some teaching, some learning, truth and love, and I believe, honestly, man, we both actually, I'm going to tell you something. We are both saying some truth and love because you know what? I'm going to tell you this because there's an audience out there for everybody. And ma'am, you reach some people, I'll reach some people. All we doing is both following the path that God has us going down to touch people's lives. So, ma'am, I thank you for that pushback. Nicole says, awesome. Nicole, girl, you being very inactive today. I love you, sister. I love you a lot. Keep doing your thing, sister, with everything that you got. So definitely. But yes, we are back on the subject, baby. We are back on the subject. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch on what Miss Resto has said. Yeah, I'm gonna touch on that. Those senses, yes, we do have wisdom and knowledge that can be given, but I also feel, this is my personal opinion, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that one. I have a personal opinion. I feel that when it talks about wisdom and knowledge that's in the Bible, I love to stick to those words, because the five senses that we talk about, those are relating to us as people. That's why I chose this particular subject. But when we go ahead and we start talking about those things that God's talking about, let's talk about wisdom, because God speaks of wisdom. God speaks of knowledge. God speaks of peace. God also talks about how we should control those things also. I'm gonna get back to the subject, people, but God also talks and tells us on how to control those things also. I don't like to put that into a way of senses. I like to put that by way of, those are the things that he gives us. He said he gives us peace. He's given us faith. We can get wisdom and knowledge from God. Those are the things that we all have access to because we are his children. And all we have to do is diligently seek him, and we can have those things. So I don't like to think of it more so as a sense. I like to just think of it as what everybody has access to. It's just what everybody has access to. So if I got it, you could get it. Anybody can get it, because that's what God does, man. God, he throws all of his stuff in the atmosphere, and he makes it so we can all make a choice. And you can make a choice to follow or not follow. But I choose to follow. And yeah, we just all take different approaches to it. But personally, that's my own opinion on it. I wanted to focus on the five senses today, because five senses is usually something that we're born with, that's taught in curriculum. It makes for great and interesting conversation. But once again, five senses, by definition, by Webster's definition and book definition, is what we are given. So we break those down, but then we separate them. Let's separate those senses and let's separate knowledge. You know what I mean? So a lot of times we just lack knowledge and understanding when it comes to things. And we can put the spiritual approach onto it. And guess what? God gives us all of that. If that's what you choose to believe. We got people out there, go ahead and get some knowledge on your own. You still have to seek knowledge. So I ain't going to take that away from nobody. You still have to seek knowledge. You have to want it. You have to want to grow with it. And you got to want to learn. But we have to be willing to teach others. And we also have to be willing to listen and be molded. Be molded. Sometimes God puts people in our lives so that we can go ahead and take a little bit more out of it. Just take a little bit more out of what's being given to us. All right. But let's get back to it, everybody. Once again, let's change the perception. Let's change the perception. Stop saying people don't have common sense. According to Webster's dictionary, we all have five common senses. We're taught these senses from birth, but let's go ahead and start learning. Let's go ahead and start listening a little bit more to people. Let's go ahead and start trying to understand where we fall short in and where we can build ourselves up in just a little bit more. Because I'm telling you, man, that's one of the hardest things for us to do. It's really hard for us to take something from somebody else and try to apply it. Especially, I'll be honest, people, especially if you don't have a foundation for it. Have you ever gone somewhere and you knew nothing about what was being discussed? You knew nothing about what was being given, nothing what was being discussed. And I have. I'm not even going to hold you. For the past week and a half, I have been put in some situations that have had me to really, truly think about some stuff, people. Really, truly think about some stuff. So, and one day, I will share that story. The only reason why I just cannot share that story is because I'm really in it now. And I want to make sure that I'm out of that first. So once I get out of that, then I'll be able to go ahead and really share, aid, and abet, and then I can really make it happen on that front. That's what I want to do. I want to go ahead and really make it happen on that front. But yeah, I'll be able to go ahead and share a little bit more once all that's done and over with. So yes, everybody. But I'm telling you, experience is something out here, y'all. Experience is something out here. And if we could go ahead and just embrace life experiences, I want to say that too, y'all, because with knowledge comes embracing an experience. And if we are not willing to embrace the experience and the challenges of what life has to give us, then you kind of, well, we looking at a lot, man. We looking at a lot of challenges ahead. A lot of times what we want to do is, as people, it's in us already. We want to be so combative against things. But sometimes when life comes at you, you have to play the acceptance game. You do. Nobody's saying you have to be stuck. And when I say acceptance, that doesn't mean you have to accept bad that comes your way, because that's what a lot of us think. A lot of us think when we have to accept things, that means we have to just run with bad that comes our way. No, 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 no. I'll tell you something. You can always change a negative to a positive. Always. One thing that you don't want to do is look at something that's supposed to be perceived as positive as negative. So, Jeff, how do we do that? What we do is we take a look at everything and we find the good in everything that we do. Now, that doesn't mean being naive to evil. And what I mean by evil is not hurtful. I'm just saying those things that are bad, those things that either don't belong in your life or you shouldn't be exhibiting out as a person. You know, you're human, but let's not use us being human as an excuse to have certain ways. And once those ways start affecting other people, that's where it becomes destructive. So I was asked a question the other day. I was asked, Jeff, do you believe a thought can be destructive? And I said, no. A social worker told me, well, wow, Jeff, I would really love to hear your perspective on that. No, I don't believe a thought is destructive, because what you think is not destructive. It's the acts that follow the thought that can be destructive. Now, it all depends on what we're looking at here, people. It truly depends on what we're looking at. Some people can go ahead and say to themselves, okay, I see how I am a slave to my thoughts. And if my thoughts are destructive, I can be destructive. But I like to say no to that, because we all have control. Some of us lose self-control, but I feel that all of us can regain. We have an opportunity to gain that back if you try and you work hard on it. So that was a very interesting perspective that I got from a social worker. We had a great conversation, by the way, too. Great conversation. I've been meeting a lot of different social workers, psychiatrists, doctors, different people lately. And I'm very blessed to have them linking up with me, because what I'm learning is, let me round it back up with the subject, people. Once again, common sense. Is it so common? And what are our true common senses? What I realized is that what we have to remember is that it doesn't matter if you are poor all the way to the wealthiest of the richest. Knowledge and relation is what brings us all together. Now, some of y'all might not believe this, but knowledge and being relatable is what brings us all together. It really does. It really does. And what it does is it brings us together on a level of trust. It brings us together on a level of just saying, hey, you have been where I have been. And I'm telling you, I'm going to tell the story. Over the last week and a half, I have been places where where not a lot of people have been. A lot of people have some stories behind it, but for me to be on the complete opposite end of the spectrum and not to be involved in certain things, and there are certain things that I've been doing over the last week, and I've been a willing participant, but I'm like, wow, y'all, people really have a lot of harsh problems out here. They really do. And I'm very thankful that I got a chance to really experience and witness how hard something can be for somebody, to see that somebody really is struggling, and to put yourself in their shoes. Now, I'm going to be very open. I'm going to tell y'all why I was on this interview. I was on this interview because I was going through some things at the current job that I went through a situation. And with that situation, it allowed me to go ahead and be involved in some different programs and stuff. And I had to sit down with some very heavy people, some very, very heavy people. And with these heavy people, it allowed me to see struggle in a different way. I always talk about struggle in the mind with people. I always talk about struggle in the mind. But this type of struggle in the mind, it's something when you see it firsthand on people. I've experienced that myself, but not to this level and extent. So, for instance, it's like people in rehab or drug programs. People in rehab and drug programs, they really, really are struggling. I don't know if you all have ever seen that before. A lot of us haven't. But when you actually talk to somebody, or you actually have the privilege of sitting in on something to learn, like sitting on something to learn, real talk, I encourage everybody to sit in on type of substance abuse or a drug prevention program. Just go to one meeting. Go to one meeting, and I guarantee you that will change your perception of what you think about certain things in your life. Oh, I guarantee you it will. I guarantee you it will. A lot of times, a lot of people don't get those chances to do that. But if you really can, go ahead and figure out what that's about. Because come on, people, I'm all about perception all the time. So if you really want to pay attention to perception, you got to give something a chance. That's what I mean by, once again, those senses we talk about. 5 common senses, people: sight, touch, smell, feeling, and taste. Those are our 5 senses that we are born with. That's what we're taught when we're younger in school, and we keep running with that. But really, we all got common senses. If that's the case, if we really put it in a literal sense, we're all born with that. Those are the things that we're common with. Those are the things that we have to know that we could do, because it's a part of survival. So then, what's the thing that's not so common? The knowledge. It's the knowledge, people. So what we need to do is we need to take advantage of knowledge. Learning is not a bad thing. Learning is not a bad thing. Some might think that they're always right all the time. There's still something good you can take from the person that believes they're right all the time. Just because a person thinks that they're right all the time doesn't mean that they have bad information. Their perception of the knowledge is they just think that their knowledge is better than your knowledge. So sometimes it's just best to be quiet, listen. Be quiet, listen, and see what you can get out of that particular conversation. I challenge you to see what you can get out of that particular conversation. Really. Because there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. Now, I get it. Some people might not have a tolerance for that. Some people might not want to listen to somebody who has that perception of themselves. But I'm telling you, it's something, man. You just learn more about people. You learn more how to navigate around people. And you learn what you can say and what you can't say. Because the things that we are born with, once again, those are common. Those 5 senses are common. But we all don't lack common sense. What we lack is common knowledge and common adaptability. Common references where we can remain coachable. I was just talking to one of my friends today, and she said she had picked up a kid for something, and family member and such. And the kid was just out of it, just didn't know how to just get something from a friend. That's wild to me. I'm gonna tell you that, like, adults, we know if we walk up to a door and we need something from somebody that's on the other side of that door, what are we gonna do? We gonna knock. We knock and we get what we need. Apparently, this particular child sat up here and they did not knock on the door. What they did was they said, "Oh, well, I can't go to the door. The screen door locked." Well, somebody in there? Yeah. Go ahead and knock. Oh, my God. Y'all, I'm so confused on what's going on with this generation of children. I am so confused. I don't know if they just lack in the I don't know if I do know for a fact a lot of kids, depending on, they are smoking weed, they are on more drugs now, more than ever. More than ever. I recently had to witness to a 14-year-old girl who was smoking weed, and I had to tell her, no, you are not old enough to do this. And I got in her butt because I love her and I care about her. But Hopefully she's on that right path. I haven't heard anything back from any of her family, anything of that nature. But that's what you got to do, man. Because I don't know what's up with these kids. Maybe somebody can enlighten me that's listening, because I don't know what's up with these kids nowadays. I just feel that they lack common knowledge and understanding. Maybe we're not teaching them the right way. Maybe we're not showing them what we need to show them. Maybe we're not being open to where they're at in their life in this generation. Because I will say this, I thought as a child that nobody was being open to me in my generation, right? But guess what? They were. When you get older and you look back at what parents were saying to you, you take it into account and you say to yourself, you know what? Okay, yeah, there's something that I can really take from this. There's something that I can learn. Oh, okay, we got a message. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna throw it out here, people. So I get a message. And it says, I tell the truth, Jeff. You asked the question, can thoughts be destructive? Yes, they can be when there is no truth or reasoning to it. I know who your mother is. And okay. Now I guess I wasn't supposed to read this. Younger generation did not want to hear the truth. Oh no, ma'am, it's not that I don't want to hear the truth. I think the problem is that sometimes you just notice patterns in people, and I'm gonna tell you this, you notice patterns in people. It comes more from a place of correction, and I get it. I don't mind a little bit of correction here, but I do like to have healthy discussion. So I guess I'm being knocked for the younger generation because I don't want to hear the truth. And it's a false sense of security. Well, so I guess I have a negative thought to somebody and I'm being destructive. But the thing is, though, I don't have to hide it. I can go ahead and talk about it. I have no problem with people hearing stuff like that. I don't think anybody's going to let people prejudge. Let people say that, because my intentions are pure with everybody. My intentions are pure. It's not to go ahead and make sure I'm right about everything and going out on Front Street. And really, I was just going ahead, finishing up the rest of the show. And then I get something right here as we're going through the show. I got a good 15 minutes left. And yeah, I kind of think, I can respect everybody's thoughts and opinions, but come on now. Hey, it is what it is. And yes, Bam, you said earlier, we can learn from each other. I strongly believe that, yes. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. But sometimes we just, as people, we don't need the extra. Sometimes people, we just don't need the extra. We lay it down. It is what it is. This is where we're at. Okay. Now I can continue with the show. So, hey, Marcella, I'm being honest, man. Son, hey, Marcella, you will be surprised how people can come at you sometimes. You'll be surprised, Marcella. But I know you know this though too, girl. I know you know this because I know you personally, Marcella. But man, a lot of times, sometimes people are very hard on you. Sometimes you just roll with the punches and keep it moving, girl. That's what I've always done. You roll with the punches and keep it moving. Everybody's not always gonna agree with what's being said or what's being done, but hey, that's why this is the Jeff Releford Show. That's why this is the Jeff Releford Show. Because I like to have different topics of conversation and I can talk about some things. Oh, yeah. Yeah, girl, you definitely know. Marcella, I know you know. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know you know. Girl, that's why I trust you, Marcella. Marcella is one of the few people in my life that I love to take knowledge and information from, because she always prays for me. She always has good intentions. She never comes from a place of just telling what to do. What Marcella does is, if y'all can check out Marcella de Lavalette Amos, she is on Dope Living TV Live. Big plug for Dope Living TV Live. They are on Monday through Thursdays. Okay, Monday through Thursdays from 7 to 8 p.m. Yeah, and they have great, amazing shows. So if y'all want to catch out Miss Marcella de Lavalette Amos, she know what's up. She on time with it. And she'll give you a little bit of spiritual knowledge too. And that Gina Gatson's also on there. My homie Greg Gray, my mentor, and Maurice Bishop is also on there as well. So y'all catch them, man. They have a phenomenal show. It's a great thing. And y'all can definitely learn a lot from there. But oh yeah, she said she almost doubled my age too. But anyway, But yeah, y'all, I feel that this has been a great show. I feel that I've went ahead and like I said, I just want to change some perspective about things. A lot of times what happens is, all we have to do is think. I encourage people just to think a little different. That's all it is. Have good intentions with everything you say. Never say things to bash people. Never say things to hurt people. Never say things to get on people's nerves, because that's not the intention. Radio is a privilege. Being able to be on any platform is a privilege, to where you can go ahead and really help people, to where you can go ahead and really help shape the minds of everybody. My man D Smith, what's going on, big dog? What's happening, bro? Hey, man, I missed you. I wish I really could have had you with these comments today, bro. We talk about common sense. Is it so common? And what are your common senses, big dog? I said, hey, man, we are born with 5 senses. Hey, man, I've been talking. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you, big dog. Salute to you too, man. I appreciate it. But I said we're born with the 5 common senses. I said sometimes what we do is we don't lack those common senses. Those 5 senses are common to us. But a lot of times what we do is we just lack knowledge. So I wanted to give the perspective to everybody. No, dog, you good, man. He said, my bad, bro. I'm just getting it. Hey, man, listen, this is why we stream, big dog. So that way you can go ahead and catch a replay. Radio is hard. Radio, you might not catch a replay, but this is why we do this here, man. So you can catch the replay. Okay, yes, self-awareness is also a sense. Yes, it's great that you added to that. Frances Resto said that earlier, and she also put a spiritual sense on it. And I agree. I agree that it can be. But a lot of times, my man, what we do is we have taken, the world has taken 5 senses and they've made it something, And yes, when you also look at what a sense is, a sense can be feeling. A sense can be feeling. And then we can take that into spiritual and all those senses also. But I want to take it to a place of awareness and knowledge. If we all have something in common, such as those 5 senses that we've learned from birth, what's the thing that we can lack? I feel that the thing that we can possibly lack is knowledge. So let's go ahead and learn from each other. Let's gain something, even if it is, my man, that self-awareness and feeling. You can also learn that from people as well. Empathy is a big thing, people. Empathy. Oh, I can't stress that enough, man. Empathy. Being able to go down to a level to where you can understand somebody and you can feel where they're coming from. Now, I do realize that everybody can't do that. Everybody can't do that. I do understand that. So it all depends, though, who you're dealing with and who you're talking with. It all depends on who you're dealing with and who you're talking to. Each and every one of us is different. And I do feel that in a sense, oh, yeah, empathy is huge, but it irritates the heck out of an ego. Oh, yeah, big. Oh, let me throw this up there for the people. My man said empathy is huge, but it irritates the hell out of an ego. And it really does. It really does. Because usually somebody with an ego, big dog, they don't want to come down to a level. They don't want to come down to a level. And I talked about being earlier, I talked about being relatable to people. You have to get it to a place to where you don't believe your knowledge is so much better than somebody else's, but you're just throwing something out there. You're just throwing something out there, giving something for somebody to think about. But yeah, empathy really does irritate somebody with an ego, because usually people with egos, they don't have the ability to just hold conversations. They have to feel that their perspective and perception of life is right. It's very hard for them to entertain other conversations with people. And it is too vulnerable. I feel you, big dog. Yeah. D. Smith says it's too vulnerable to the ego to show empathy. Exactly. Because what does the ego rely on? The ego relies on what they have. So since the ego persistently relies on themselves on what they have, now they don't want to open up themselves to anybody else, because there's a chance that it could discredit or go against what they say. And they don't want to hear that all the time. And with me being a life coach, I have to be open to everything that I hear. I can even go back and watch this episode today and learn things. I actually go back and watch my episodes so I can go ahead and see, well, maybe I could have fine-tuned this. you know what? Maybe, Jeff, maybe you should not have said that. Maybe you didn't quite agree with that so well. You know what I mean? Because that's what it takes sometimes. Self-criticism is something, people. If we can't look in the mirror and give ourselves some type of self-criticism, come on, man. Like my man said, self-awareness is a self-sense too. And that's what that self-awareness is. Self-awareness is being able to look inside yourself and being able to criticize yourself also. Y'all have heard me talk about that a lot, man. Y'all have heard me talk about that a heck of a lot. And it's great. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Marcella de Lavalette Amos says that is wisdom. Yes, it is, ma'am. It sure enough is wisdom. It sure enough is wisdom. And I'm telling you, and people will test that. People will try to test your wisdom. People will definitely try to test your wisdom. They really will. And that's what that ego will do. That ego will try to test your wisdom because they believe that their wisdom is better than yours. Man, this is the big thing I want everybody to get out of today's show. Those who came through, those who watched, those who listened. What I really want you to get out of today's show is that never be too big of yourself to learn from others. That's the big thing. And I can be honest with you, there's a lot of stuff on here. Everybody said 100% of what everybody said on the comments today, I definitely agree with. I agree with wholeheartedly. I agree with it. Oh, shoot, I've even taken it to those levels and I've applied it to myself. You know, you can't go ahead and take into account what others say without trying to apply it to yourself a little bit. If it's going to cause some harm to you, don't do it. But if it's reasonable and it makes some sense, go ahead and apply it to yourself. You can't hurt nobody for it. Can't hurt nobody for it, baby. Can't hurt nobody. So, yes, man, I really do love y'all. And I appreciate you all listening today to the Jeff Releford Show. You know, we ran through it today. We got through with y'all. You know, we had some stuff going on, but we fought right through it. So, yeah, y'all, I appreciate everybody for listening. We're going to go ahead and cut it out, y'all. You know what we do. We always come in the same way that we left. So I can go ahead and remind y'all where y'all coming from. So remember, y'all, it's your boy, Jeff Releford, Life Coach Jeff. And remember, redirect, regroup, refocus. I love each and every one of y'all. Thank you all for listening. And peace out. Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Jeff Releford, and I thank you for joining me on the Jeff Releford Show. Because listen, you could have been doing anything else today, right? But you chose on your way home from work, or if you just at home chilling, to tune in to the Jeff Releford Show. Now, real quick, I want to say this to you. Go ahead, tell your friends and family to download the Online Radio Box app to your Android or your Apple device. So that way you can go ahead and listen to us on the go. And what you do is from there, you type in Biggs Radio Chicago. Okay? Biggs Radio Chicago. And also listen to our sister stations in Indianapolis, Indiana, Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia. And once again, you are kicking it with Jeff Releford on the Jeff Releford Show on Biggs Radio Chicago, the voice of